This is the second in a series on sustainability, that buzzword. This is called We Wake Again. Sustainability in our life on the earth requires that we perform tasks that make life sustainable. It's up to our own efforts. It's a hard task and one that seems to cause a lot of angst to those who are trying so hard to make a difference. Some people can't even sleep at night knowing that the waste and the lack of effort by others is affecting the world for no good. It's a lifestyle that many choose to adapt because they feel they must sustain the earth where they place their feet daily to ensure a better tomorrow. Turning now to the Psalms, we read in chapter 3, verse 5, that when we lie down and sleep, we wake again because the Lord sustains us. Remember that prayer that we prayed with our kids, or that we prayed? Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. I never liked that prayer. It made me fearful, as did lots of things that we learned back when we were kids, even nursery rhymes and storybook tales like Hansel and Gretel with a big bad witch waiting to put children in a hot oven. Let's look more at this chapter. The writer notes that he has many enemies, ones that pursue him relentlessly, and there are many voices that call to this writer and tell him, God won't deliver you. But this writer knows that these voices are not speaking the truth. He states that the Lord is a shield, his glory, and the lifter of his head, and he states that the Lord answers him from his holy mountain, and therefore he can lie down and sleep and wake again because of God's sustaining hand. Our children hear voices that their future is bleak, that the economy is tanking, evil is on every corner, shooters are on their campuses, and they wonder if they should contribute to the earth's population at all, because what future is there for anyone? There's too many bad things happening. But do our kids hear the voice of the one that stays awake while we sleep, ensuring that our life is in his hands? There's another verse that says God never grows weary or sleeps, and that enables us to sleep and rest. The writer goes on to say that he will not fear though tens of thousands surround and attack on every side, and he calls on God, his deliverer, to strike the enemies because he knows where his deliverance comes from. So one act of sustainability we can surely practice is that of demonstrating to our families how we can lie down at night and sleep and wake again without fear. We can hear the news of the bleakness of our country and still sleep in peace because our life is not sustained by the hands of another, but only by him. Our kids can fall asleep looking at spooky shadows that lurk in the darkness, or we can point to the light that dispels all shadows of darkness and teach them that rest sustains. The rest of God sustains us like no other, and in fact, we can wake up again because of that rest to run the race with gusto and purpose. When televisions are on and the news is blaring, it's not ever good. In fact, the nightly news often starts with breaking news of something evil or scary. There are economics reports given in stores with losing money and placing them here and there to ensure a good future. We either act or we don't act on a given day, depending on the reports we've heard from bosses, businesses, or banks, all in the course of 24 hours. So when nighttime falls, sometimes our peace is nowhere to be found because of all the worries of life, and we don't feel like we can sustain a balance for our families at all. How is there any hope in this fallen world? We can call our families together, shut out the noise, and carry our cares to his ears, the one who hears and sustains. The writer of the Psalms heard many voices, but he only chose to listen to the one that watched over him while he slept in the middle of enemy pursuit. Remember in Psalm 23 that he prepares a table for us in the presence of our enemies, not in spite of our enemies, not when the enemies first fled, but right smack in the middle of the voices that whisper lies of doom and defeat. God is our shield, the lifter of our head, the pillow on which we can lay down at night and rest upon. He's the one who hears and can do something about the spookiness of the night. And what our kids are seeing and listening to, we can determine whether it's another day of bad news and they're going to listen and believe what they hear. Are we popping pills? Are we talking of tomorrow's woes and worries? Are we frantically trying to secure our own future? Or are we lying down to rest, assured of his wake-up call to see the sunrise of another day where his light adorns the sky? Are your kids playing games in the background only to hear parents and grandparents curse the leaders that are causing all of this pain? Or are we praising the God that never sleeps, whose arm is not short nor his ear closed? It's something to think about. The most sustainable thing we can do today is demonstrate to the next generation that there's no fear of darkness, no worries to keep us awake, and that the one who watches over us nightly in the depths of our despair holds us and wakes us the very next day.